What's up, everybody? It's Greg with Delta, and this is the Be the Difference podcast. This podcast is all about making you a better life person in your life and in your business with coaching on sales, leadership, mindset, marketing, everything under the sun when it comes to being an entrepreneur. And we bring on guest speakers. Today, I've got the honor and pleasure of welcoming Mr. Carlo Chincarini. Carlo, what's going on, brother?
Greg, hey, it's absolute pleasure to be here. I love that intro. Just gets me pumped up, ready to go.
Yeah,
Love the energy.
exactly, right?
Yeah.
That's the point. There's something powerful about music. So I'm gonna jump in real quick. So right now, are you in the UK or are you in Australia?
I'm in Australia right now.
Okay, so in Australia, it's obviously completely different time. It's 7 p.m. here. I never do podcasts at 7 p.m. You know what I'm saying? Like 7 p.m.
Okay.
I get up at 4 a.m. every day. So I'm up at 4, go to the gym. Usually like 8 o'clock, I'm out.
Yeah.
So
I feel you.
So you signed up for 7, and I was like, man, no one's ever signed up this late. And I was like, if I gonna do this, I was like, no, I'm gonna do this time, because I saw you're in a different country. I was like, it's probably just a timing issue, right?
Yeah.
And so whenever I have a podcast or something I got to do for work or whatever, and I'm tired, dude, I put on specific songs. I have a playlist of just get hype songs.
Yes.
That I will play just go nuts and dance and jump and just scream and get stupid. And so like 5 minutes before you got on, I was playing Walking on Sunshine. Jumping around in my kitchen, just like trying to get hype. So
yeah. Do you know what? I love I have so many great friends and connection in the States. I love it. I think the way that your energy resonates big time with me. What's that college football team that has got, is it Enter the Sandman as they walk? It's a college. Is it Virginia Tech?
I think it is Virginia Tech. I'm going to Google real quick and verify it.
Dude, but see, there's something powerful, but it's real, and we're going to talk about energy, and we're going to talk about state and getting into your king self. But man, I agree with you, and you guys do sports like the best, and I work with a lot of elite teams and athletes and that, and always talk about how walkout songs gets you really hyped up and into the States. So dude, man, I love it.
It's so good. It is Virginia Tech, by the way. It is Virginia Tech.
Okay.
So for those of you that don't know who Carlo is, Carlo Chincarini is renowned globally as the Kingmaker. He stands at the forefront of personal development and high performance industry, transcending boundaries and revolutionizing the way individuals harness their inner potential. With expertise spanning mindset mastery, high performance business mindset, and the cultivation of king energy, Carlo Chincarini is a true thought leader in the world of performance, mindset, and transformation. Carlo has dedicated his life to helping high performers in business and elite athletes, sports teams, and coaches attain the extraordinary. His unique approach, grounded in the concept of king energy, has transformed lives and propelled individuals to reach new heights of success. Carlo's impact extends far beyond mere words. His exceptional abilities, contagious enthusiasm have touched the lives of countless high achievers, instilling in them the unwavering belief that they can be kings or queens in their chosen domains. In the worlds of business and sports, Carlo Chincarini's guidance has been instrumental in shaping the destinies and consistent performance of elite athletes, sports teams, and coaches. His unique blend of wisdom, experience, and charisma has made him an invaluable resource for those striving for excellence. I fucking love it, bro.
I'm
digging your energy.
Oh yeah. So good. And it's true, you know, like it's. I'm so passionate about this stuff, and it's something that it's over 15 years we've developed, and really wanted to answer the question of how can we really get people to get genuine results on a consistent basis, and to create a life that isn't just mediocre, but to get genuine results on a consistent basis. Like why is it that people can get results on and off every now and again, but what if we could bottle it up into a method, into a process that gets them to become the highest value version of themselves on a consistent basis, right? To then get the results, because most of us have those references. Like if we pick anyone and say, hey, tell me about the time when when you were crushing it, when you're just smashing it, when you got the best results you've ever got, your business was flying, money was coming in. If you're an athlete, you were on, on a consistent basis all the time. No one could touch you. Everything you did turned to gold. You felt like you were the fucking man, and you knew that you were really fucking good at what you did.
Yeah.
Who were you in that moment? Because that's what it's about. If we can help you become that version of you on a consistent basis every single day, consistently, day after day, week after week, month after month, then holy shit, life is going to change very quickly,
Yeah.
right? Because the reason why we don't get results is because it's not that we don't know how to get to that. It's because we fall off it, right?
Yeah, it's like the flow state. It's like they got into that flow state.
Yeah.
And you could stay in that flow state continuously, right?
That's right. But for
Like,
most people, so I talk to two groups of people. One is obviously entrepreneurs, business people, coaches.
yeah.
The other one is athletes. But see, what trips me out is how so many people, both in business and sport, live their results to luck, to hope, right? Let's pick a business owner. They show up at work, right? Coaches as well. They go to work and we're like, okay, well, hey, what are you working on? I don't know. You're just going to work hard, right? Athletes go to train hard, but what are you training on? There is no real method. There's no real process or system that actually helps you. For athletes, a lot of it is around their body, which is okay. But then what about the mental aspect? What about the internal aspect that actually helps the body perform, right? No plan. For business owners, they don't really have a performance method to actually help them treat themselves, first of all, as an athlete, because that's what they are, right? Because you're asking yourself to go to work every single day and perform and actually get results. But we don't actually have a way of doing that. How crazy. Like, you go to the gym and you don't have a gym program, you're not going to get results.
Yeah.
You don't track things. How you gonna see the improvement and the growth? So that's what
I'm going to jump in real quick. I don't mean to interrupt you, but
do it.
I fucking love this already. So, do you teach them how to do physiology, like physical actions to tap into specific moments in time?
100%.
Like,
100%. So
yeah.
there's got to be this, and we'll tap into for your audience this Kingmaker method. Now, I like to do things properly, and I want things to fucking work, right? And in order for performance to work, there's got to be different components. There's got to be a physical component, right? The body. There's got to be a spiritual component. There's got to be an emotional component and a mental component. Once we bring those all together, right? We have to get the physiology to impact the psychology, right? We have to get a strong mindset, strong mind, strong mental skills. We want to get our emotional state disciplined, right? So that we can feel all the emotions that come up with the journey, but then choose, hey, what emotional state do I actually need to succeed, right? And once we have those areas connected, the metaphysical as well, almost left it out. Once we get the metaphysical and the physical connected, the two connected, now you become dangerous because you're complete, right? And the idea that I have around the king self or the queen self, right? I don't know if your audience is mostly male or whatever, and we can kind of just talk in the king sense, but the king self version of ourselves and people listening is the complete version. It's not one that is strong around one part of life and then shit on all the others. No, that's not how it works. We've got to be 10 out of 10 in every part, right? We've got to be 10 out of 10 with money. We've got to be 10 out of 10 with our body. Like, you're jacked, that's what we want to get to. We want to make sure that our body's strong, athletic, fit, healthy, because that tells us a lot about, I truly believe that the body is a manifestation of the mind, right? So money, body, relationships, family, kids, that's got to be 10 out of 10. There's no point having a lot of money and then having a shit relationship with your kids or with your spouse or with your body. It's got to be 10 out of 10 in every part. So we have, in order to have that as a result, we want to make sure that, first of all, we need some sort of protocol to follow it on a day-to-day basis. and I'm not interested in, hey, 2 days, 5 days out of 7 we're great, and then 2 days, no, that doesn't work, because we want that consistent. We want to have that across the board. So maybe we can dive into that, but it's got to be that complete system protocol that helps people to continuously raise their standards in every part of life.
Yeah. So two things here. One is, for the audience, something that Carlos is hitting on is a very simple concept I talked about a lot previously, is how you do one thing is how you do all things. So if you're gonna be like, well, I'm really great at my business, but it's like, hey, you're a shitty dad, you ain't paying attention to your kids, your body looks like shit, your relationships are falling apart. Well, guess what? There's going to come a point in time you can be as great as you want in business, and you can have all the pride in the world.
Yes.
They're like, oh man, my business is flourishing, I'm doing all this great stuff. But then at the end of the day, when you go down the road a little bit, and it's like, hey, your kids don't want to talk to you, they're grown up, they want nothing to do with you. Your wife ended up leaving you, then now you're unhappy, and now you're alone. It's just like, well, where's the success in that? Where's the fulfillment in that? So Carlos is absolutely right. It is, you have to be excellent in every single thing across the board, and you have to be you have to be evaluating it too. Like, you have to be looking like, hey, how am I doing right now in these areas? And there's different ways you can do it. I recently did one where it was like 7. It was like a wheel. It was seven different areas. It was like finances, business, your family, your relationships, so on and so forth, your physical, your mental. So, and then evaluating all those. Now, the second thing is to dive a little deeper. When Carl and I were talking about physiology, think about, like, for just real simple, think about like the Heisman, right? So like you do like that move, it's like and you're just like, and it puts you, like, when somebody scores a touchdown, they're gonna and they do a little dance. That's like their physical move to get them in the fucking zone. Like, what that player's doing in their mind is keeping in the flow state. So it's like it's locking that win physically with an action, so that when they're down, they do that move, and it brings back that win in their heart, in their soul, in their fucking mind, and now they start to operate at that level. Right?
Yeah.
That's the point of doing physiology and tying what he's talking about, tying the physical with the metaphysical. That's what you're doing. So you can do this a lot of ways. You can also do this with songs. That's why songs are powerful, right? We were talking at the beginning. A story that I have is when I was doing in 2021, I was doing this challenge, 75 hard, was doing a challenge, and I was running. I decided I wanted to run every single day, and I ran 4 to 6 miles. About day 10 in, I was fucking sore because I wasn't running at all leading into it. I just said, I'm going to do it. My legs were shot. My calves were hurting. And so it was getting a part where, like, I didn't want to go out, and I had to do it every day for 75 days straight. So what I did was I played the same song. The song that I started out my runs was always the same song. Everything else after that was randomly chosen. But the song I started was the same fucking song. And it was a song that was like, it pumped me up, and it started on the first couple days. It got me in the mood for running. And this is what happened, is that when I got to like day 14, day 20, day 25, when I was really sore and I didn't want to run, I just told myself, you know what? I'm going to walk today. I'm going to put on a weighted vest, or I'm just going to walk. I'm just going to go outside. Right. And I would go outside, and then I would play that song. And by the time the song had got, like, when the beat dropped, bro, it was like every single time I just started running. It just like my body just it knew it's time to run.
Yeah,
because it
100%.
heard that song. And so that tapped into my physiology, which got me started running. And by the time the song was over, I was like, I'm just going to run for the song. The song is over. My body's warmed up. I'm in that state, and I'm just like, fuck it, let's go.
That's it.
And I felt great, right? But it was just because I played that song every single time. And that now, even to this day, if I play that song, I have an urge to go out. Like, literally, I'm like, I got to go run. I hear that song. So there's a lot of power when it comes to physiology, when it comes to music, physiology, 100%. And then locking in all these emotions, locking in your spiritual side, your mental side, bringing it all together to really put you in peak state. So
100%. And that's a concept. That's a concept that I call anchoring. All right.
Uh-huh.
So what we do is, and that's you anchor. It can be a sensation. It can be a story. It can be a song. It can be anything that you use. And as soon as you hit it, as
Mhm.
soon as you feel, as soon as you hear it, boom, you're back into that stage. So
That
that's
moment, yeah.
part of the what we're doing in the king state. We want to get people in whatever state it is for them that gets them physically feeling it, mentally just living it and being it and embodying whatever the king version of themselves is, right?
Yes.
Because it's powerful when you then have circumstances on your external world that tell you, hey, no, not today. Hey, you're tired. Hey, your legs are this. Hey, your legs are that. Um, to help you actually, and you've got to be purpose driven. You've got to be purpose over pleasure. You've got to have something that you're going with. That's why clarity and vision are so important for anyone to be a king and queen in their own life. And remember, being a king and queen in your life has got nothing to do with being that over someone else. You're just trying to be that over your bitch self.
Mm.
So there's two concepts that I use. There's a king self and there's a little bitch self, which is facetious, but explains the point, right? Because there's two versions of ourselves. There's the one that the higher self, the king self that achieves, that succeeds, that wins. And there's a little bit self that is continuously trying to pull that down through excuses, fears, doubts, insecurities, programming, all of that, society, all of that.
I'd say one's your
So
head, one's your heart, you know?
yeah, yeah, that's an interesting way to put it, for
Yeah, because
sure.
like because our head, our brains are literally designed to keep us safe, right? If you rely on
Correct.
everything you think, it's like, hey, I'm gonna keep safe. I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna take this chance. I'm not gonna do this risk. I'm
Mm,
not gonna go after that venture. I'm not gonna ask a girl out. I'm not gonna do this. I'm gonna do that because it's trying to keep us safe. Even
mm,
though safe, we're not really that comfortable because our lives
mm.
kind of suck and we're in a rut. We're not growing, but
Yeah,
we're comfortable enough that it's just like we're justifying it. That's our brain.
yeah,
Our heart's the one is just like, I have all these dreams, got these visions, got these goals, I want to do this big thing, blah, blah, blah. Like I'm gonna have to do this. But it's like, I don't know. I don't
yeah,
know. I
yeah,
don't know. Like, so it's
yeah,
like same thing, or the angel, the demon, right? The boss,
yeah,
there's
yeah,
so many ways, but it's all you're right, it's two versions. It is
yeah.
one
And
version
it's
of us that's holding us back. That's you're selling yourself a pile of shit, and you're like, I'm doing great. Like,
correct.
oh, what, I've been working hard. I gotta take this break off or whatever. Nah,
Yeah,
man, you don't need a break.
yeah. And it's the crazy thing is that it's you. Both of
Yes,
them are
they're
you.
both you.
So both of them are the exact same you, but one is the one that is able to. And I love how you touched on 75 hard. And I have a challenge that we've created at the Kingmaker that for me starts in two days. Um, but it's all about, okay, what are we doing on every single day on a consistent basis to get ourselves to live more, to almost like, how a snake sheds the old skin to get new skin. It's how do we shed the old identity, which could be identities of laziness, it could be the identities of comfort, of insecurity, of lack, of scarcity, right?
Yeah.
All of those, right? And how do we then, as we shed one, build up the next one? Because the two actions in steps. First, you got to remove one by taking action towards actually going out for a run every single day. That's a great way of removing that identity. But then there's also the reprogramming. Say, okay, now that I've let that go, what am I going to replace it with?
Yeah.
Right. I know you did 75 hard. What in 2021, what I did was I started something called the Kingmaker 365, which is like 75 hard, but for 365 days. And it's a complete identity rebuilding identity process, right? For me, I'm as I was saying before, I'm starting my next 365 on December 1st because I wanted to shock my system and say, hey, I'm not waiting until January 1st. I'm starting December 1st. And I'm going to go 365 days of doing 5 actions every single day, working out, and there's a bunch of other little things. But my idea is this: if I can do and stay consistent, keep commitments to myself every single day for 365 days, if I only get, it's a famous rule of 1% better every day. if I get 1% better every single day for 365 days, holy shit, like you're not going to recognize me by December 1st, 2024. But
Yeah.
see, for me, what I want to do is, I know there's so many coaches out there, and I want to do something to show, and I'm doing it for me, but at the same time, I'm also doing it for as a branding kind of thing, right? Say, hey, I'm going to document all of this. I'm going to show you my successes and my failures. It's 50-50. Right now, I don't know whether I'm going to be able to do it for 365 days, right? My record is 272 in a row. So it's 50-50 whether I'm going to make it. I'm going to be doing a bunch of travel. So, okay, then how the fuck am I going to get workouts in and runs in when I travel, right? What is that going to look like? I'm going to have to run on a plane, and I'm still going to have to do it. I'm going to have to do push-ups and burpees on a plane. So but I want to document that journey, and I'm doing it because I want to continue to level up and recreate a new version of myself. Because then, when we talk about confidence and all of that, but see, most people don't understand that confidence is simply just you keeping your word to you and knowing that you're being consistent.
Yeah.
In the face of potentially not being able to do it, or not being consistent every single day. If you keep that promise to you, man, I don't care what anyone else says out there, as long as what I say about me, I'm my conscience, right? I'm good with it. And that little voice inside my head, that little bitch voice is being mastered every single day, then there is nothing as powerful as that externally. Does this make sense?
No, it does.
And I think
I think where
become
people struggle is
unstoppable.
they haven't. No one's had. Not most people. Most people haven't had an event or like a period of time where they've trained to something in their adult life. And like
Yes.
once you get out of high school or college and they played sports or whatever, but
Yeah.
they haven't done this in their adult life to where they
Yeah.
worked to something with that purpose, with that clarity, with that vision for a period of time where they were consistent, even for fucking 75 days, let alone
Yeah.
for a year.
Yeah.
And they did it for a period of time to where they saw the difference from day
Mm.
one, day 75.
Mhm.
They're like, holy shit, I'm a
Mm.
different person. Like they
Correct.
realized the confidence within them, the
Yeah.
changes mentally, spiritually, everything that
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah.
And so the first time that ever happened to me was on my deployment. It was my first deployment
Mm.
to Iraq. Cause I used to be scrawny, man. I was like a
Mm.
skinny bitch. And my first deployment, I was in Iraq, 2009. The guy literally, like the guy I was deployed with, one of my buddies, Ben Wenlin, still good friend. He came to me and he was like, dude, you're a skinny bitch. We're going to work you out. We're going to get you big. Right. And I'm 23 at the time. I think I'm 23, 24 at the time. I'm 170 pounds. I'm 6'7", by the way. I'm a big dude.
Yeah.
Like I'm
Yeah.
tall. So I'm like
Yeah.
170 pounds. I look
Wow.
like like I look like an Ethiopian, bro. I'm like skin and bones.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I've up to this point, I've lifted, I've ran a lot, I've worked out, and I've eaten a shit ton. I'm like, dude, I can eat everything in the world. I don't gain weight. My metabolism's too fast. It's not in the cards for me. But okay, let's do it. Like, sure, whatever. And what I realized was that when I was consistent every single day for the whole year, and I actually had a plan that I was following, what happened? I started to grow.
Yeah.
And I went from
Yeah.
170 to 250 pounds within
Yeah.
6 months of that
Yeah.
deployment. I
Unit.
grew massively.
Yeah.
But here's where the magic happened is that I started lifting weights I started lifting heavy weights than everyone else there. I started when I would go to the gym and I was going to do bench press, which that was my thing. I'm doing 315. I did 405 during that deployment. I don't know why that's doing that.
Congrats. Let's go.
Yeah,
Celebrate.
okay. People would stop and they would look and they'd be like, what is this guy doing? And like, because they remembered Lieutenant Birch when I first got there in deployment and how skinny I was. Now I'm Captain Birch and I look like fucking Captain America. No shit. And so I saw coming out of that, like the change in confidence and literally changed me as a person. And that was for me was so eye-opening. And it was like all I did was I lifted weights every day, and I got addicted to it. I was like, I did it every day, but it changed me so profoundly that it changed the remaining of my military career.
Yeah.
It changed who I am today.
Yeah.
And so I see the power of it. But if I hadn't gone to that, like if I hadn't done that with that guy, like who knows where I'd be today?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I think some people just have to like experience it for themselves to see the true power, like internally and how it feels. Because
Of
when you
course.
walk into somewhere and you're like, I'm a bad motherfucker, and I don't have to act it. I don't have to be
Yeah.
mean to people. I don't have to act like
That's right.
I'm better than anybody because I'm not. I'm just so confident in myself because when I say I'm
That's
going to do
right.
something, I'm going to fucking do it.
That's right.
Like,
And that is what, see, people confuse confidence and arrogance.
yeah,
And
it's not the same thing.
it's not the same thing, but it's the people that don't have confidence that call confidence arrogance.
Yeah.
If you ever noticed that.
Yeah.
So if there is an insecure person, as soon as they see someone with confidence, what do they say? That guy is an arrogant, is egoistic, is cocky, whatever it might be, right? But see, once you are confident, it's easier. It's so easy to be confident. Why? Because now you don't have to pretend. Now you don't have to force it. Now it's coming from a place of power instead of force. You're not forcing to be something that you're not and coming across as arrogant, because once you're not truly confident within yourself, then you try and be confident. Now you come across as arrogant.
Yeah.
It's very, very interesting, right? But confidence is actually very quiet. You can be loud. You can, because now you can, right? But confidence is very, very flowy.
It's very certain.
It's very certain. Now, certain, again, you don't need to force it. You just are.
Yeah.
Right. And you can walk into a room, you can pull your shoulders back, your chin up, your chest forward, and say, hey, this is who I am. Here I am. This is me. Right. And all of a sudden, in talking about the king version of you, see, the idea that I have around the king, and this is what I see, it's my sort of interpretation and my definition. But when you're a king, you're not a tyrant. There is no tyranny. There is no over someone else. You're not putting other people down. The only way that you do that you try and bring other people down, is that if at heart you're not really in your king self.
Yep.
Because when you are in your king self, what you actually do, now that you are abundant, not just financially, but in here and in here, rich in heart, right? Now all you're really trying to do is bring someone else up with you. There is no other way. Once you have that overflow of your heart of abundance, all you want to do is bring someone else up with it. Once you're winning, all you're trying to do is get, hey, come on, let win with me. Come on, let's go win. Now you're giving, right? But anytime someone else is trying to pull someone down, like on social media, that you get some shitty comment or someone is saying something, it's not a reflection of you, it's a reflection of them trying to bring you down to their level, because, hey, I couldn't possibly have you winning if I'm not winning.
Yeah.
So and this is why this is so important for so many men, because once we start becoming a 10 out of 10 in every part of our life, and we start to be abundant, we start to be secure, certain of ourselves, rich in heart, abundant, then relationship with your kids is going to go through the roof. With your
Dude, so
partner, with
different.
your husband. Man, amazing,
So
right?
different.
Because you're not trying to force it. You're not trying to, trying to bring other people down with you. Man, you're just trying to rise people up.
It's also I think energy can be felt, whether people are like believe
Oh,
shit or not.
yes.
Like you can
100%.
feel it, you can tell it, and that's where people are like, I just feel good around that person. It's probably because they're a positive person. They have really good energy, right?
Yeah.
I can tell you as a father myself that when I started becoming way more confident, I started to just keep my word to myself, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to do this. I'm going to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Guess what?
Yeah.
I'm getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm not going to hit my snooze. I'm not going to lie to myself. If I'm going to go to the gym every single day, I'm going to go to the gym every single day. If I'm going to read a book and get my reading in to teach myself, I'm going to do it. I'm not going to make excuses like, well, today you got to write for me, blah, blah, blah. No, I'm still going to get my reading done no matter what. And what happened is that I put out a different energy. Like I'm more in line with who I am spiritually, physically, mentally, and in my heart.
100%.
My kids can tell that without me saying anything.
Of course.
But for instance, I just went, so I'm divorced. I've got 4 kids, my ex-wife. When I go to see my kids, and they live in Florida, I live in Texas.
Okay.
She's in Florida because her husband is in the military and they've moved multiple times, and he's just recently been stationed in Florida. So when I go to visit them in Florida, I stay with them in their house, and we have a very good relationship. It's very copacetic, and we go on family vacations all together. We do things, everything together. And so, and him and I, like, he's a great dude. I'm like, we bro out together. And so my kids, when I'm there, if I do something, they just automatically want to do it. Even if like, and most people be like, I can't get my kids to do this. Case in point, I started drinking celery juice recently because I started learning about alkalinity and how it helps to remove acids and all these things. I started looking up all this stuff. Heard about celery juice. I was like, I'm gonna try it. I fucking hate celery, by the way. But I'm like, what? I'm just gonna chug it. So I drink every day. I started drinking celery juice. I started about a week and a half before I went to Florida for Thanksgiving break this past week. Well, they have a juicer at their house, so I still got celery every day. Because I'm drinking celery juice, they're like, "Can I have celery juice?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure. I'll make you some." And they're like, "What does it taste like?" I was like, "It kind of tastes like shit. It tastes like celery, but it's really good for you." I'm like, "Just chug it. Just hold your breath and chug it." That's what I do. I was like, "I don't like the taste of it, but I'm going to do it anyways."
Yeah.
I shit you not, man. They drank it every fucking day, and they would gag while they're doing it.
Yeah.
But then the next day, they're like, "Hey, Dad, you gonna make some celery juice?" I'm like, "Yeah." You want some? And they're like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Dude, you were gagging yesterday." They're like, "Well, you're drinking so." I'm like, "All right."
Yeah.
Because they want to be like me. Because I'm told you end up being like this proton, this positive energy, right? And you're pulling in all this other positive people with you. And most people want to be positive, right?
Yeah. Do you know what? I respect that. Love hearing it, and I'm really proud of you. Like, I fucking love seeing that. Okay. And the how we clock the game of parenting is all through self-leadership.
Yeah.
Because our kids don't listen to us, but they emulate us.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the problem. That we grew up with people that would say, hey, don't do as I do as I say.
Yeah.
And then the same people will wonder why we don't trust them and why we don't listen and then why we don't follow, right? Because it's all about self-leadership. You will know this from your time in the army. It's about leading yourself. And once you lead yourself by example, and it's hard to be a man. Like, I firmly believe that masculinity is under attack.
Yes,
I firmly
100%.
believe that the concept of being a really strong male man that leads, that serves, is completely under attack, and it's in danger. It's dying, and the world needs more good men that actually lead themselves. And again, if we go back to the point of being a king, it's not as a overpowering someone else. No. There's no need to overpower anyone else when you influence you first, when you lead yourself first. That's enough. And you realize that's enough, because with your kids, you will never have been able to get them to drink fucking celery juice if you weren't showing up. Never would have happened, right?
No.
But because you lead yourself, and you are that energy, you are the person, then the people that look up to you the most, that are looking for an example in a world like we're living today, and they see you as an example, they follow that. And it's about certainty. Because if you went to Florida and you said, "Oh man, I'll do it on the first day," but then, "Oh no, it tastes like shit, I'm not doing it," and then you gave up on you, and you didn't keep that word from between you and you, they would have lost trust, and they would have lost respect, and you wouldn't have led them. Because there will come a point when things get tough, and they're looking for man, I don't want to do this, I'm gagging. Dad gave up on it. No way did they continue. No way. No matter. And it's not just about celery juice. It's about everything. It's about maybe doing their bed. It's about doing the dishes, putting the rubbish out. Things that, hey, it's got nothing to do with whether they're going to become a successful person, right? Wrong. Because those little 1%ers, this, become the big shit. Because unless we do the little 1%ers when it doesn't count, when it doesn't matter, when no one's watching, how are we going to be able to do the shit that actually counts when it actually really matters in the last minute of the game? This is what I teach athletes. Say, hey, your room should be the cleanest room in the fucking building. Your locker should be the symbol of professionalism. Your office, your area, your home should be a reflection, is a reflection of who you are. So what does it look like? your body, right? I'm putting myself through a 365 because I'm shedding, like I've got these love handles, man, I'm fucking sick of them. And so I'm putting myself through that. And I'm a fit guy. Like if you look at my Instagram, I do a minimum 140 push-ups a day. I'm up to 150 because I have to get better at like every single day. I've got this ego thing about it, right? Which is fine. I'm okay with it. But again, it's different layers going to different levels all the time,
Yeah.
right? And self-leadership, and I truly believe that everyone needs a coach. Everyone needs someone to keep them accountable, not because they're less, but because if they're serious about their goal, they need someone outside of their own fucking head to keep them like pushing different levels all the time. And people are like, oh no, I just coach myself. You're a fucking idiot.
Yeah,
It's
no,
stupid. It's
no.
wrong
You
because
don't coach yourself, bro. You just
correct.
told me
Because
you don't want to get better.
because
That's
you
all
need
you
to be
told me.
accountable to something or someone,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And if you're
That
especially,
is the difference, is accountability.
yeah.
That is the key.
And you know what, Greg? I hated accountability. I avoided. I see purposefully avoided accountability for so long. Before I started the Kingmaker, I had a business for about 10 years, and I lived on $3.62 an hour for 10 years. That's why I'm so passionate about helping coaches make money. I know you do a bunch of leadership sales and stuff like that, so you're probably the same. But man, I know what it's like to avoid accountability, to be so scared of failing, of being held accountable because you're like, man, if I'm held accountable, I'm going to fail. I know what it's like. And I've completely gone 360 where I want all the accountability in the world
Mm.
because I know that, hey, if I'm called to do something, if this is what I'm doing, I feel called to it. And how do I know that I'm called to it? Because I've got a passion for it. I don't know if you know, but passion is the word passion is connected to the word desire, right? And the word desire is actually a word that comes from the Latin. And in the Latin, it translates to of the Father. So I don't know what spirituality kind of you tap into or what you do, and it doesn't really matter. The word desire coming from meaning of the Father, meaning that it's been given to you from something or someone. It's
Mhm.
been given to you, right? Meaning that it's not mine. It's been given to me, and I'm a vessel to carry this out, right? And if I'm a vessel and I have this desire inside of me, this fire that burns inside of me to make something happen, then that's my life. And I've given my life to helping people become the king version of themselves or queen, right?
Mhm.
But now I have a duty, like you know what duty is, right?
Yeah.
I have a duty towards this, meaning that, man, I need to be everything that I can be so that this happens. Because if this doesn't happen, it's going to rot it's going to rot me from the inside out.
Yeah.
So for me, accountability, becoming everything that I can be, raising standards, I have no other option. Or like, I'm binded by this because for that to happen, I need to be who I need to be for that to come true. And I know, and I have complete faith and trust and knowing that it will, as long as I am being who I'm asked to be for that to happen. So it's this thing, and especially with coaches that are called to do the work that they have to do, man, like we need to get it done. It needs to happen because we've been called to do it. Does that
Yeah.
make sense?
No,
I
it
know
does
I've
make
rambled
sense.
on. I've gone on a
No,
tangent, but
it makes 100% sense. I'm Christian myself, and
yeah,
so the way I see it also is in a similar sense,
yeah,
but I also add to it that it's got to be something done daily. That every
yes,
single day we wake up, we're given a gift. And that gift is
yeah,
just breathing and being alive. And
yeah,
every single day we're given that gift. If we don't maximize and try to fulfill our desires and fulfill chasing our potential and being the best version of ourselves, what we're doing is we're taking that gift and saying, it's like looking at God and saying, thanks, but no thanks, and throwing it
yeah,
in the trash. Like, I don't really care about
yeah,
this. And that's what
and
you're doing.
yeah. Sorry to cut you off. Great point. But that also, if we're people of faith, where is our faith in that? Right?
Yeah.
If we don't become everything that and I'm a big person of faith. I've had a long winding road with spirituality, religion, and faith. Um, but if we're really people of faith, shouldn't then we be almost willing to go and put ourselves in the craziest spots because hey, if we're not here of our own accord, then we've got someone watching our six all the time. It's going to
Mhm.
be fine, right?
Mhm.
You see, people talk about being people of faith when it's comfortable, when it's easy,
Yeah.
when they can control things, right?
Mhm.
But I don't think that's a faith that we're called to. The book says, have the faith of what? The size of what? Mustard seed. Last time I checked, mustard was pretty small, right? It wasn't great, but that faith can move mountains. Okay, tell me more.
Yeah.
What does that look like? Then how do I then go about my business? How do I then go about that sales call? How do I then go about keeping that client accountable, jumping on podcasts with random people around the world? Can I then, with that faith, show up in my king self? Of course,
Yeah.
right?
And
So
the faith
it
also
has to be every single day. I completely agree.
the faith should also manifest in the fact that like you should have the faith that you were made in his image, and if you were made in his
Yeah.
image, then you can also do blessings and have
Right.
greatness here on earth. And so
Yeah.
that's where I like people like, oh yeah, I'm a Christian and I have faith, blah blah, and it's like everything in God's name. But it's like, well, why don't you try to go chase that dream job you want? Oh, I can't do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Do you really have faith? Because
Yeah.
if God created you in his infinite wisdom, right? And you're
Mm,
perfect creature that God created. Yes. And God works through you. Yes.
mm,
So you're saying
mm.
you can't do that. So then God can't do that?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. 100%.
it's just like,
100%.
like, it's just like, you don't really have faith then, right? People
Yeah.
want to be, just, it will fall in their lap. Like, oh, God will give it to me if I'm,
Mm,
no,
mm,
no, no.
mm.
God's going to give you the desire in your heart to go after it,
Yeah.
and that drive to be like, I want to do this, right? And
Mm.
it is your responsibility
Yeah.
to go after it, to chase it.
Yeah.
Because if
Of
you
course.
do and you have the faith and the
Yeah.
knowing, the true certainty that doesn't matter. I don't need 100% plan because I know I'm going after what I'm
Mm,
being taught and
mm.
told to do in my heart.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's going to work
100%.
out.
Of course. Of
Like
course.
it
But
just will.
yeah. Yeah. But then we go back that into the thing that we want to almost kill off every day is that version of us, that little bitch self inside of us,
Mhm.
right? That keeps getting in the way. And that's still us. It's our amygdala. It's a part of our brain that just wants us to be safe, to be comfortable, to just go for the familiarity. We're at war every single day, us v us.
Yeah.
That's it. If we win that, then I don't think there's anything external of us that can really stop us. Right. And yeah, the external opponent might be, you know, a Goliath, but
But the external opponent is nothing compared to
yeah,
ourselves.
we are our
Nothing.
worst enemy, and people know this, but they never really tap into what it counts. And I agree. If we're serious and we're connecting, we actually um come to know what we're called to do, and we're like, man, it's something so means so much to me, then why wouldn't you want to go after every day? But you need that accountability, because as soon as we're left for ourselves, man, I don't want to be left to myself, right? And
Mm.
although, like, okay, maybe I probably could for a period of time, I just don't want that. I want to have something that is like, hey, have you done that? For me, like, I've been able to create a process that is every single day, which is great, but multiple people in my corner. Like, to me, my wife keeps me accountable. My kids, I look at them like, holy shit, I need to show up, right?
Yeah.
But having someone in your corner, I know obviously you coaching people and that you do the same for your clients. It's so valuable, because then I eh, I want to keep going for a different level. I want to get there. I want to enjoy the journey, but I'm always striving for more. I don't want to talk about 5-figure months anymore. I want to talk about 6, and then from 6 I want to talk about 7, and from 7 I want to talk about 8. Does that make sense? And going to a different conversations, different figures, different standards, continuously growing.
Yeah. Standards is it. The standards is the key. It really is.
Mm,
Everything in life comes down to standards. Whatever your
mm,
standards are for yourself, or your standards are for the people you let around you. So,
yeah,
Carlo, this has
100%.
been a fucking great conversation, bro.
Yeah, I love it. I geek out on this stuff. I think it's great, and really just want, especially people that people that are passionate about what they do. I don't care what it is.
Mm,
But if you feel called to do something, and if you have that desire inside of you, that energy inside of you that burns, hasn't been given to you. Well, sorry, it has been given to you. It's not just your thing; it's been given, and we've got a duty. I love helping people. I've seen way too many people struggle financially, emotionally, mentally, that never actually fulfill that, and end up quitting or end up not going to do something else. That's what I'm at war with. I want people to be the greatest version of themselves so that they can do more of that and then feel alive, because there's far too many people that are living but not truly alive. And you will know this,
mm,
right? And there's a difference. There's a difference between living and knowing that you're alive. And that's one of the best feelings, to know that you're truly alive, to know that there's something out there, that you're waking up every single day with purpose and drive. And even if it's hard, even if it's, man, a pain in the ass to get to the gym, but hey, you're freaking living, right?
mm.
You get to experience that. You get to experience the struggle, the pain, and it's a beautiful place to be.
I love it. I love it. Well, Carlo, I appreciate you coming on the podcast. If anyone listens to this and they're like, man, Carlo's a dope ass dude, I would like to learn more about him. What's the best place where they can connect with you or learn more about you?
Yeah, you can see a bunch of my stuff, and on Instagram you can jump on and see my work and validate it in your eyes at the Kingmaker Coaching on Instagram. Which I try to, again, you will see my Kingmaker challenge that starts December 1st. So I don't know when you release this, but
It's actually
I'm
it's gonna come out Wednesday.
oh, perfect, brilliant. Awesome, awesome. So,
So
so what I'll document my whole journey. You'll see almost every sweat of drop that I drop throughout the year, and man, I love connecting with people. I love to understanding people's journeys. If obviously what I do can help, bonus, brilliant. But I love community of people that are like minded. So at the Kingmaker Coaching is where you can find me. Drop me a DM, say, hey, I listened to Greg's podcast. It was dope, awesome, loved it. This is what stood out for me. I absolutely love that.
nice, bro. And the last question I ask all my guest speakers that come on.
Yes.
If you had the opportunity to sit with, break bread with, have a conversation with, and learn from any three individuals, anyone in history, alive or
Mm,
deceased, who would they be and why?
okay. Uh, so the first one is my dad, who passed away when I was 25. He drowned, and it was too soon. And I miss him, and there's so many things that I want to talk about. So that's one. Number two uh, would have to be probably the greatest leader of all time, who Jesus Christ, who I just, for so many different reasons, I just, man, the conversation that you could have, that it would
I
just
feel
be
like the
amazing.
conversation would be him asking you questions in
Yeah, that's true.
response to you asking
Yeah,
questions.
yeah, yeah. That is true. That is
Uh,
true. Who would be the third? The third that I would want to ask questions. Um, hmm, it's a great question. I never thought about it with a third one. Hmm, I don't know.
any alive,
Um,
any mentors that are alive that you like from afar that
okay,
you like?
okay, okay. So I was just thinking about people that are no longer here. Oh, okay. Alive. Yeah. Okay. Um, uh, I have a goal for 2024 to meet Brad Lee. So
Yeah.
I love to meet Bradley. I think is really cool. There's a bunch of other great mentors that I've got on my list to meet for 2024. Yeah, he'll
I
be
got
the
a cell
one.
phone number if you want it.
Of Bradley.
Yeah, I do.
I'll take it.
He's an
100%.
insurance. He's an insurance.
Yes, yes, yes.
He was actually, we were recruiting him and we had a phone call. It's like,
Amazing. How
yeah,
good. No,
it was a
but
long
see,
time
but
ago. It was like a year and a half ago.
yeah,
So
okay. But see, what I admire about Brad Lee, he's really given me the confidence to be be myself online, to actually be confident and certain in myself and put myself out there.
Mhm.
Right. And he's been a great mentor from afar. I haven't met him yet. I will. I'll take his number. But he's been just real and honest, and he values honesty. I value honesty. Yeah, and the other two obviously for obvious reasons.
Yeah, naturally.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Carlo. Those are 3 great examples. For anyone watching this, definitely go follow Carlo at the Kingmaker Coaching on Instagram. Go check it out. I'm going to follow you now. If anyone's watching this and you get any value from this, the best thing I can ask for you to do is to share this content with somebody else that can learn from it, that can grow from it. And here's the fucking reality is that everybody can learn and grow from this to become the best version of yourself, because that is seriously what all of the population across the world is missing right now.
Yeah.
Is the drive, the desire, and honestly the discipline to continue to be the best version and show up with that confidence every single day. So you got any value from this, do me a favor, share this with somebody and like, subscribe, comment. Takes you 60 seconds, but it means the world to both Carlo and I. This has been the Be the Difference podcast. I'm your host, Greg Birch. Until next time, deuces. We'll see you.